Well, good morning, everyone. How are you doing? Well, I'm at my friend Rosie's house. She's one of our good friends. She's a homesteader. And I've been meaning to do this video like 8 times, but every time I come, I forget the camera, I forget my SD card, but I finally made it here. She's been going through some transitions the past year here. So tell us about yourself. How did you get into homesteading and what have you been doing here?
Well, it all started, I think, as everybody, a couple of chickens. So you start with a few chickens, you get a coop, then you get more chickens, and then you realize, why not ducks? Why not goats? And that's how we connected. Kristen had the goats, and I ended up buying a goat, and I think she bought some chicken eggs off me. And you start asking people how they're doing it and their setups. And next thing you know, you end up with goats. Garden started that with the kids. I think they were about 2 or 3 years old.
Right.
Let's get them out in the dirt. Let's see what we can grow. And then of course you got the bug. Next thing you know, you want to bigger and build bigger and better and more and what you can fit in.
So then how long have you been growing gardens for then?
Well, I want to say about maybe 5 or 6 years. Right. My old garden, which we'll get to that, was where we just put a new garage. And we ended up kind of putting a garage there and moving the garden. But that was, I think, 3 seasons on that garden. Right. And then before that was a really small one. So I want to say it was about 5 years total. So right. a lot of learning, actually, a lot of learning.
Yeah, so I'll just show you where her old garden used to be.
Yeah.
If we look over this way, where that little house is, that used to be our gardens there. Used to be a lot more trees and looks a lot different. I haven't been here since they built their place, but she has moved it over to here now. So do you want to walk us through the process, I guess, on how you got everything set up here? Because there used to be a lot more trees here, I think, right? More
yeah.
Trees and...
So my husband pushed a lot of the trees down, which, because they were kind of those acidic pine, we're actually going to mill them up and make some trim for the new place. But we cleared the trees. He did have to scrape a lot of the topsoil down to try to level it out. But because we're on a steep hill everywhere around here, this took a little bit of work. So once we had the bare soil, luckily the builder had collected a lot of the topsoil from the old garden and left us a pile. So I had started my rows with the dirt from my old garden, which you can actually see a lot of stuff starting to grow up. We've got lettuce, arugula, obviously some weeds. I think there's a bunch of tomatoes coming up in another section. And so instead of wasting all of my soil in the whole garden, I ended up focusing on the rows. So I pushed the dirt. We're still a row and a half short. My old garden was 50 by 30. This one is now 60 by 40. So it gives me an extra 3 rows. And so anyways, yeah, I prefer with the hill, if we mulch our walkways and then you build your rows, it actually supports kind of the soil from washing away. And the mulch seems to hold in the moisture, and plus it doesn't erode. So when you get wind and everything in the wintertime blowing it off, it actually helps hold the soil in. So this time of year, what's today, the 4th of October, I've already got my manure on the rows, so that's going to break down. I do a no-till method here, so every season I'm adding manure in the fall and compost in the spring, and then I just plant directly on that. The nice thing about mulching is I don't have to weed the whole garden. I'm only weeding the rows, and then once you get to about July, you're not actually having to weed anything because it's too hot and too dry. So with the space, we had to move a lot of perennials. My raspberries didn't do so hot in the transplanting stage. Same thing with my hazelnuts. We have my husband's palace on the backside, so we were hoping that the hazelnuts and the elderberry will kind of separate the garden from the garage space. We added some fruit trees. I have my rhubarb, which the soil we brought from the old garden had some tomatoes, so they're actually blossoming at the moment. And so we've kind of fit everything we could in a small little space.
You got the peach trees over here as well?
Yeah, so they were dwarf trees as well, or I guess they get to be about 15 feet tall.
Right on.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then blueberries, haskip, goji berries, and raspberries and blackberries over there. So got a little bit of everything.
That's awesome, yeah. So it's quite impressive. She's busted her butt this summer. I think she works harder than I do some days, because every time I see her post on Facebook, I'm kind of wondering how she gets it all done. Yeah. But I'm the same way, trying to get stuff done before the winter hits. And like she said, she had to move her garden, so her growing season was a bit shorter this year. But next year, she's going to come back strong, I think, with better beds, longer beds, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, experience is key, right? So, I mean, more space now for the raspberries is a huge improvement. And just knowing the work this fall will pay off in the spring, because when it goes time to plant, it's just fresh soil and seeds, and that's it, right? Yeah.
Awesome. Well, there you go, guys. Just a quick little tour of a different homestead so you guys can see what's going on in someone else's place. She's been doing awesome this year, getting this moved. Makes me tired watching her. But anyways, yeah, if you guys have any questions for her, leave in the comments and we can get some questions answered for you.
All right.
So thanks for watching. Thanks, Rosie, for having us here and checking out your place. And we'll see you out there. Have a great day.
Bye now.